that scene. But I've just gotta let this go live real quick. Refresh this and refresh this. Live. Nope, nope. That's good. I lied. That's actually can see you, but I need to Welcome everybody to One Moment to meet the Polymaker. I have everything completely screwed up today and I apologize for the wait. I appreciate everybody that stayed here looking at a blank screen, just waiting to see something happen. Thankfully I have James on the phone. He gave me a call to let me know I'm still on black screen. So here is Polymaker, Meet the Polymaker. I am Nicor, sponsored to you by Polymaker. And so thanks again, everybody, for coming. Today, we're going to talk about a few things. I'm going to kind of speed it up since I'm behind now, catch you guys up to where I was. I was into the news. But we're going to talk about a few things. A new printer that we've talked about before, but just actually got a launch just a couple days ago. We're going to talk about some stuff in India, a 3D printed rocket, a little bit more in depth on that. We're going to share some prints as we always do. Then we're going to meet a maker. Now bear with me patience wise, because you've already been patient and I'm trying to ask a whole lot here. When we get to meet the maker, I've got to adjust the audio. I try to adjust it on the fly, and we've got a mess up where I think you guys will be able to hear him. I won't, so that's going to be a little bit difficult. Bear with me when we get there. We'll kind of deal with it as we go. But with that all said, let's move into the news for the second time. You just don't know it. FL Sun S1. This is a new type of printer. Well, it's not a new type. It's a printer that not a lot of people have dealt with, a Delta printer. This is still an FDM printer, still prints kind of the same way everything else does. The movement is what's big on this one. It's different. This one is a very large format one. It's got a 320 millimeter diameter, so it does have a circle build plate, which that diameter it gives you roughly about a 220 by 220 square. So depending on the model and the shape that you're printing, it's going to fit differently. You might be able to get maximize that whole space. But it also has a 430 millimeter height. So you can get a pretty big print off of it. There's a couple cool things about this printer. And like I said, we've talked about some of it in the past. It is touting, and we're going to have to wait till it actually hits the hands of some reviewers and real world people. 1200 millimeters per second print speed, 40,000 millimeters per second acceleration. Acceleration, we've seen that high before. The print speed, not so much. They're supposedly achieving that with getting a max flow rate of 110 millimeters per second. If it's doable, yes. Will they have that down pat and have it working off the rip? Time will tell. These have, I believe, started. They're going to be starting shipping here in a couple weeks. They did go on order on June 3rd, and the normal MSRP is $14.99. So a little bit expensive side, but it is a large format. It is an enclosed printer. It has a 350-degree hot end. It actually has an enclosure at the top for the spool to keep that dry. I don't know if it's just a dry box or a heated box. It also touts a CPAP machine, which forces the air for cooling. Gets up to 40,000 RPM for cooling. That's adjustable depending on the speed and the material being used. So it's going to be interesting to see this coming out and what it's really capable of. But again, the MSRP is $14.99. Right now it is special pricing on their website until June 14th. That is at $12.99, so you save $200. So if you're interested, I'd pick it up now. And we won't talk about another printer that just recently got released that had a little bit less of a strong launch. But that is the FL Sun S1. Next up, we're going to talk about India. They have a rocket, which we've talked about rockets before. We've talked about a lot of parts for rockets, 3D printed rockets. This does have some 3D printed parts. The main one I want to focus on is right there. That is a 3D printed engine. Now, it is not your FDM material, your plastics and whatnot. It is metal. It is actually able to be printed on site using laser powder bed fusion. So it's a different type of printer, but a little bit faster, of course, makes a lot stronger structure. But it is actually made with using high-grade aerospace materials as copper, titanium, inconel, and another one that I didn't write down because I didn't know how to pronounce it. And I could have killed the last one there. But this has already went on a test launch recently. It went suborbital. And it was able to complete controlled ascent and several maneuvers before returning to Earth. I don't believe this one is like a SpaceX where it landed all safely and intact. It's probably came apart in many parts. But I just thought it was cool because India, there's a lot of countries that are growing in technology. 3D printing is just riding that wave of technology into everything. So this was just neat because it's not just the rocket, it's the engine itself being printed. So thought it was pretty cool. Next up, we are going to, got too many things up here. We are going to go to editor. There we go. Okay. Next up, this gentleman here goes by the name of Mitchell Barnes. He's from the UK. He started a company called Rise 3D. Don't get it confused with Rise 3D or Raise 3D, the 3D printing company. This gentleman actually started the company back in 2017 while printing 3D models for other university students. I'm still in this mode, am I? There we go. Okay, apologize. I got too many windows up. So, like I said, it started off with selling 3D prints to university students. A lot of us have started selling stuff, whether it be at markets or you find a niche product that somebody's interested in. So this guy, again, 2017, started just selling to students while he was studying automotive and transportation design. So then, fast forward to 2024, he expects to hit a $5.6 million revenue with his company. How he's done that is with his expertise in automotive design. He's actually, rather than just 3D printed services to print whatever somebody wants at request, he is focusing on automotive parts, more specifically for hypercars. So of course, there's a lot of money in hypercars, like Hennessy, Zinger, a handful. I mean, these are $1-2 million cars. There's a lot of money in this industry. He's finding ways to implement the 3D printing to make parts for them. Especially with race teams. He actually, I think, had a friend that is part of a race team. We've talked about that in the past too, where you can print while on the track, print another part, put it in, test it, whether it be aerodynamics, ducting for cooling to the driver, numerous things. They can do that on the fly. This guy decided to focus on that, put all his power into that, and in what, 7 years, is now making it's projected this year to be a $5.6 million revenue company. Pretty awesome, just right out of the UK. So just an example of what you can do if you really put your mind to it, especially with 3D printing. The sky's the limit. Next up, we're going to talk about some 3D printed terracotta bricks. So we've talked about concrete printing. The homes, a lot of them are spreading throughout the US. This uses that same concept. It's using a wasp, which I think we've talked about before, a wasp 3D printer. It is a concrete printer. So what they've done is just change the material from concrete to clay to make these terracotta pots. So you'll see, of course, the big display and everything there on screen. The smaller one is just showing you the texture. It's a perforated vase, and they're made to be like Lego bricks, where they can actually stack on top of each other and build up a wall, and then you can plant each one as you see in the picture. This was actually done by an Italian landscape designer, Giulio Giorgi. Hope I pronounced that right. He partnered with a 3D printing maker, is it a WASP, which is they make the device for the concrete printing, and they did it in collaboration with the World Child Cancer Center. This was for the Chelsea Flower Show, which is what this picture is from. It won several awards in part because it included that 3D printing, low carbon footprint, and basically they were using low carbon materials, no concrete, no metal, no power tools. I'm not sure. The printer itself is power tool, I would imagine, but they said no power tools. I think maybe for assembly. But other than that, they used more than 600 blocks, again, all connecting like Lego. So awesome display and just another way of showing what 3D printing can do on a larger scale with just completely different material than what we're used to in our homes daily. Last up, we're going to talk about, this wasn't really a news story. I came across it. I thought it was really neat. We've all seen the Cocoa Press. We've seen it print some neat chocolate things, some not so neat chocolate things. So this YouTube channel, the Action Lab, they do a lot of like what would happen if experiments and trying different things. Of course, he had a Cocoa Press. He was doing different chocolate things. He tried putting chocolate onto the bread itself, and it was successful. And he thought, you know what? Let's see if we can make a perfectly layered Nutella sandwich. So he did just that. He used the same metal slug that the chocolates go into for Cocoa Press and filled it with Nutella. And I'm sure there was a lot of testing, but basically in the end, what he did was modeled out the piece of bread. I think he scanned it, put the model in on the bed, made it do a trace, basically just a one single line brim on the bed. So he knew where to put the bread, and then adjusted the Z offset. So it was right on top of the bread. And of course, it's not the most uniform, but the Nutella was a nice filler. And in that picture, that's not a heated up or smoothed out or ironed out Nutella. That is strictly 3D printed from the Cocoa Press. Basically, just as the Nutella is a little bit thinner, it's able to settle and make a perfectly made Nutella sandwich. So I just thought this was just a neat thing, not really a news story, but I saw it and I felt like sharing it. So that is it for the news. We're going to move on to the print highlights. First up, we're going to take a look at something. This was posted actually, I think a couple weeks ago, and I had it in my list and I forgot to add it. is the Dragon Scale fabric. It is modeled by F. Tobler, available on printables, and this was printed by community member Orange Truth, shared in our show off channel and our Discord at discord.polymaker.com. This one is cool because it uses all the starlights. So you see the 7 colors. The starlights are a beautiful lineup. I think a lot of people out here love it. I think everybody here can probably say they've printed at least with one. If not, I recommend when you get a chance to get at least one of them. It's hard to pick a favorite. It's just there's many out there. So here's a display of just, I thought it showcased the colors really well. They all have a shimmer to it, kind of a different color shimmer with a different base. It is a beautiful lineup and just a really cool print. So thank you for sharing that. Next up, we're going to look at a gear ball. This was modeled by Reuven Balls on Maker World. The file is free on Maker World. This was printed by Not So Dirt in Polymaker Shadow Red. So you get that red and that black. And on this ball, it's I think the original designer used mixed berry, so it's a dark blue and red. This black and red still looks great. And it is just, it's hard to see in pictures, but it does kind of, it spins. It's a geared ball. It's got several pieces that snap together. So anybody with any printer can print this. You put it together, and like I said, you'll make the sphere, and then as you turn it, almost looks like a flower. Again, the pictures don't do it justice, but a really cool, design and a really cool fidget. So thanks again for sharing that, Not So Dirt. And next up, we have a print submitted by Danny, our Hugh Forge ambassador on Discord, and this is the longboard trucks. It is available on printables. Designed by Polymaker. It was an artist, a modeler that designed it for them. But this is the actual truck. If anybody saw the official Poly Dryer commercial, and they showed the skateboard and everything else, because they dried the carbon fiber filament, this is that truck. This is the model. It is available for anybody to download and try. Danny, I've talked to him, is looking to try different materials. This one is specifically printed in PA 612 CF. He hasn't yet tested it. You'll see the bushings in there in the Polymaker teal. That is TPU. He's got to get the hardware for it. He is going to be posting those videos, I think, crash or no crash, on his socials. So make sure to follow him. It's Neokoi Prince. I think that's in there, which he might be in chat. If he is, feel free to shout yourself out there, Danny. And definitely follow his socials. He's going to be doing some cool experiments with these trucks. And we'll see how many times he breaks them or breaks something on himself. So thanks again for sharing that, Danny. Next up, I've confused myself because I got 2 guys back to back that have very similar names. This here is Sliver Bear. He had printed the Classic Spaceman by Big Bricks. This is available on Maker World, and this was printed in none other than the Luminous Rainbow. It's a fantastic filament in the daytime and even a better filament at night. So I love when people show the before and after, or the light and no light examples of different colors or different luminesces. So we shared another Lego Man last week. This was another one. There was a couple other ones. It was hard to pick this week because there's a lot of submissions. So thank you guys for sharing. It gives me a lot to look at. It just makes it harder to decide what to share. So they're all awesome prints. You guys are all awesome for submitting them. So let's take a look at the last one. And this is by Silverback. I had to pause there before I messed it up. This file is available on STL Flicks. It is their Viking chess set. He printed this in a couple different things. The PLA Pro Bronze, PLA Pro Cold White, Galaxy Black, and Polyterra Marble. So of course the white pawns and pieces are the marble, Galaxy Black for the other black set. The borders that you see looks almost brown. That is the bronze. And then of course the white and black for the checkerboard. I think this was able to be printed in 4 different pieces. So he's printing with the FlashForge 5M, I think it's called. So you don't need a huge bed to print this. It is a full size, but you do it in 4 pieces, print all the sets out. Just a really cool one. Maybe not. If you're at Murph, you might see this. So we shall see. But again, thank you to everybody that did submit a print to our show off. Make sure if you haven't joined our Discord, it's discord.polymaker.com. We have a show off. We have many channels. Show off is just one of many. We also have one where you can submit commercials. We have a new submission this week. We'll see if you guys can notice which one it is. But let's go ahead and cut to commercial break. We will be right back after those to talk to our maker.
Has this ever happened to you? Have you just been minding your own business and you drop your PLA print? There's gotta be a better way. Well, now there is. With our Polylite PLA Pro, you won't have to worry about dropping your PLA prints ever again. Just look how these tests held up to our drop test, the same one that we did with PLA. If you need even more impact resistance, make sure you check out our Polymax PLA. This hammer is no match for Polymax PLA.
This is Polymax PLA, the toughest PLA in the world, and today we're gonna put that to the test. I printed this very mechanical model and we're gonna drop it from the 12th floor. You heard me well, the 12th floor. Let's go! Ready for the first drop in 3, 2, 1. Whoa, that's crazy! Not even a scratch! Let's go and check it closer. Not even a single scratch. I dropped it again from the 12th floor and still not a single scratch. Buy your Polymax PLA right now!
Performance may vary depending on usage, individual factors, and external conditions. Individual result may vary, not a guarantee of specific outcome. Consult your professional before use. See website for details and limitations. Use responsibly.
Imagine owning some of the best songs about 3D printing this Discord has to offer. Polymaker presents 3D Printing Hits by Silverback and Little D, the best renditions of some of the greatest hits of all time. Hits like Hallelujah, Polly Smooth Criminal, All That She Wants Is Another Printer, Print Away,
There you go, print away.
Still the TD1, All About That Bag, No Stabbies, and Polyman.
It's a file tonight. We're all in the mood to see it extrude, 'cause you've got your printer tuned right.
Reserve your CD today with a special TV offer by going to polymaker.com and paying $39.99. Have your credit card ready. Seriously though, this music was a joke. Go buy some Polymaker.
Has this ever happened to you? Have you just been minding your own business and you drop your PLA print? There's gotta be a better way. Well,
Okay, well, welcome back to Meet the Polymaker. I think that looped and I apologize. Got some settings. So with my audio issue, I had a little issue to deal with, but I think we have it. So I'm going to try to talk. I have me echoing in my ear, but we'll see how it goes. There may be a little bit of delay between me and the maker, so bear with me. He understands, so if I seem to cut him off, it's not on purpose. With that all said, one last thing. I am awesome. Somebody do I am awesome in chat for me real quick, because the page was up and it's not registering any entries. I want to make sure I refreshed it. Okay, we're good. Everybody real quick. I am awesome. I'll give you one more chance at the end. So again, here is our maker. Let's go ahead and talk with none other than Local Maker, or Local Maker Michigan. Chad, what do you want to go by?
Local Maker's fine. Chad, if you see me in public.
There we go. Now, can you guys hear him? And is it audio good? I just want to make sure before we carry on the conversation here.
Can you guys hear me?
Watch Chad here. Michigan isn't local me. Yep, sounds good. Awesome. Thank you, Silverback. So, welcome in to Meet the Polymaker. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for being patient with getting things set up.
I'm glad to be here.
Yep. So let's go ahead and just tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of what you do and where you come from.
All right. My name's Chad. Go by Local Maker. 50 years old. Know nothing about computers. I had a bad medical issue a few years ago. Forced me out of the garage and into the house, so I had to find a hobby. And so I picked up 3D printing, and I didn't know anything about computers or 3D printing at all. And I just went ahead and dove headfirst in. And now I'm doing maker bricks for the community. Celebrate
Now you're hooked.
all the makers.
Now, so
Yeah.
what got you into, we'll get right into it with the maker bricks. Where'd that idea come from? Was it just something out of the thin air, or something you kind of had an idea for?
Well, I was looking for stuff to 3D print. I would get to the point where I wouldn't have something to 3D print, and I could only print so much stuff to put in a box to give away that I had no use for. And so I was trying to figure out how to design stuff, so I got into Tinkercad. And then I made a few maker chips and coins, and I was like, I wanted to do something for myself. So I started making Local Maker bricks just to practice designing and colors and testing. I could test everything else I wanted to in the slicer. I could test every setting, and if it didn't work, I'm not out anything. So then after I had about probably 50 of those, I'm like, well, I can't keep making bricks for myself to put in a box. Now I can't even give them away. So I started doing them for other makers. And I thought it was just a great way to, support, prop up, bring attention to all the makers from like MakerDeck. There's always 4 to 10 people any given time of the day, and nobody ever sees them unless you're the part of the people on MakerDeck. So I was like, well, I'll just start making them for other people and start giving them little characters that may or may not have anything to do with them at all.
Now you can always make a story up though, right? So even if you add something, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Well, it means this.
Right. Yeah.
Now what printer did you start doing these on? Because I don't know if you have an AMS yet, but I know these are layer swap, originally at least layer swaps, correct?
Yeah, I started on the Prusa Mini, and I was doing layer swaps, and then I did that for quite a while, and then I've got the A1 Mini with the color changing and
Open up a whole new world.
Really, well, I just don't have to babysit it anymore.
That's true.
I
Now,
mean,
was the
I'm
color
not-
swap when you started them? Was that your first foray into color swapping, or were you doing color swap on other things that you printed, and then you just kind of use that expertise, or you kind of learn as you went?
My first printer was a Wanho duplicator i3,
Okay, yeah.
and I didn't know you had to pause it to swap filaments. So
Oh, so you just pulled out and put in.
as it was printing, I'd clip it and then just follow the next one in behind it.
Okay.
And then I'd do like with the Sharpie trick where you'd put a Sharpie marker and color the white filament as it goes into the, so yeah, ever since I was like, oh, I didn't even know I could touch it while I was running it first. And all of a sudden I'm changing filaments out on the fly. So.
Oh yeah. And you said now with the AMS, now that you have that, is that all your designs now are based around, do you design them now based on the fact that you can do color swaps, or do you
Depends on
still
the
do a
brick.
layer? Okay. So it depends on the
It
design.
depends on the brick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Now, and how? Oh, go ahead.
if if it's too much like a checkered flag, it's easier to go in and do it all black and then color the whites, or to do just the flag with the black if it's white underneath. So you don't always need to paint everything. Sometimes a layer swap's just the easiest way to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't ever have an always or never way of doing something. It's always
It's just whatever works in
whatever.
the moment.
Yeah.
And now, how many? And I know you've kind of told me, and you've posted out there before. Is how many are you up? How many unique ones are you up to?
I more than 250 probably.
And that's
Like,
still that's growing. Like, would you say it's a new one
yeah.
every couple days, every few days, or what would you? What's your output typically on average?
Typically, I average one a day. Sometimes it's two a day. Sometimes Liz will come in and say, "Well, you could do three." So I do three.
You get that little push.
But oh yeah, yeah. So, and I think she has 6 or 7 of her own bricks, and most people will have two if I get to it.
Yeah.
So
So now, is it? Did you have any 3D design background, or was this just something? Was this the first thing that you jumped into it?
I was a welder, fabricator, tool, die guy, in the garage with dirty hands, fixing cars.
Always been a maker then.
Yeah, so like I've always welded and fabricated, and that's as close to anything as I've ever done is, making cardboard templates and cutting out brackets and stuff. So the whole, it's the ship in the bottle to wrap your head around.
Yeah. Now, what do you use?
That's
What
what it was.
software do you use? Did you start with something and now transition to something else, or are you still using the same?
I started with Matter Control, Matter Hackers.
Okay, yeah.
And then Prusa Slicer came out, and I got into Prusa Slicer. And then for a while there, I was using both of them. I would take something out of Prusa Slicer, put it into Matter Control, use some of their features that no one else had, and then put it back into Prusa Slicer to slice it and print it. So
Now, what about designing though? Is that
Tinkercad. Well, I started and trying to do it in Matter Control, but they couldn't.
limited?
Well, yeah, you couldn't make holes. Like you couldn't put negative volume in it. So I try to make something without being able to put negative volume.
Yeah.
It was you just think
Just
of
keep
things in
adding and
shapes
adding, and it just looks like a blob in the end.
yeah. So and that's when I found Tinkercad.
There you go. And is that something that's the one you still use? Your go-to, Tinkercad?
Yeah, every day.
That's
Every day.
man. That's I still I started with Tinkercad. I still use it for things, and I've yet to upgrade myself to any of the new ones. I still use Windows 3D Builder, and that does wonders for me. So,
Well,
you
I
use
think
what
if-
works.
I think if Tinkercad offered a fillet and a chamfer option, you wouldn't need much more else.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially unless you're doing organic, and then at that point you're a whole different type of
Right.
app anyway.
That's something else altogether. That
Yeah.
yeah.
Now is that is the Maker Bricks the only thing you've really designed, or have you kind of went any other direction with it, or do you plan to?
No, I don't know. The Maker Bricks are fun for now. I still make functional stuff around the house. I never take pictures of, but the Maker Bricks, it's kind. I enjoy doing it. It's a niche for me.
Yeah.
People are
And
good
it's
at what
fun.
they
Like I
do.
said, I think whenever somebody sees one, it's even a while back. I don't follow a lot. I don't do a whole lot of the Twitter or X, whatever it is now. And I think actually Pezlis pointed out, hey, the local maker made a Maker Brick of it. I'm like, wait, what? So I follow. I'm like, oh, I have to follow everything else. And it's just exciting to just to see your name on there. It was fun. So and just like
Yeah.
that, Super Dad and everything else. So that was much appreciated. But
Yep.
now with all these Maker Bricks, is there a plan that's coming up soon that you're going to do something with these bricks?
Yes. I'm going to give them to Liz at Murph.
Now she's going to
That's-
take it
I-
all the way back to Canada on her back then, right?
She's going to figure out what to do with them while we're there. She don't have to take them back, but she's going to help us figure out what to do with them while they're there.
Fair enough.
And if I made you a brick and you're at Murph, come and get it. I don't need it. You're more than welcome to it. If you have people that that I don't ship bricks. I was asked to ship bricks.
Shipped bricks. Yeah.
And ship with a P. I shipped one. It was $5, and I'm like, it's $1.30 worth of filament, to a 3D printer, you can print your own. If you want it, I'll give it to you.
Yeah. Yeah, especially now, a lot of people have more access to printers, whether they own one or libraries or,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. So, and if I make somebody one, generally it's from the 3D printing community. So
Likely they've got a printer.
it's likely.
And now you offer those files for free when you're done, or do you post them somewhere?
If somebody requests it, I put it up on my printables page,
Time.
and they can download it, and then I remove it so it's not clutter.
Yeah. We have a million bricks to go through.
Right. And I save all of them, so they're in my hard drive. So if somebody wants them, I can pull it up and send it to them.
Oh yeah. So you probably do that. Anything you design, I'm sure if you're like me, you save everything. You got a whole folder. Doesn't matter if it's a square that was an adapter for something that took you 10 minutes to make. It's still it's saved in a My Models folder.
I don't know how to get rid of it. So
there you go. Now is on these bricks that may or may not be coming to Murph here. Are they going to be? Do you have a maker's table, or are they going to be going kind of throughout, or what's your plan? If you're surprised, then you don't have to say anything.
I don't have any plans. I'm going to show up.
You're going to bring up and
with a cart and the boxes of maker bricks and find a table. So
awesome. Now you plan on being there all 3 days, or just 1 or 2 of the days?
I know we'll be there Friday, and if we can find a camping spot, we'll keep the RV there till Saturday. Leave Saturday night probably.
Oh, there you
go. If not, then I'll just come back Saturday. So definitely Friday and Saturday, maybe Sunday.
Do you have a very long drive?
Hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, so you're closer than I am. I got 2.5, so not a bad drive at all.
It's literally 3 left turns and 2 rights, I think.
Easy peasy then. Just hop on one of those old Indiana country roads.
Straight down 131, US 131. So
there you go. Just avoid the horse carriages.
Well, that's why you get there early before the holiday starts for them. The Summerfest or whatever they have.
Now, is this were you there last year? Is this your first event, or have you been to ones in the past?
This will be my 3rd year.
3rd year, okay. Yeah, so you started going. I started going. I assume Murph every time, right? Since you're right there.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then have you got a chance to be there early enough to try the Amish crack donuts?
Nope, missed them.
Well, if anything, just swing by the Polymaker booth. I'll probably, I like myself some snacks between Uncrustables for Liz and Zombie and everybody else. I got to get some donuts because they're killer, but also not the healthiest. But what's the?
I'll have some extra. I'll have some extra Polymaker bricks to pass out.
Awesome.
I made 3 of each color.
Looks good.
Made 3 of each color, so.
Awesome. That's much appreciated. Yeah. So we'll have. You're welcome to put some. Waiting for the final setup. Not to give away anything, but we plan on having a community table, so you're more than welcome.
Yeah.
Come see us, whether you're during setup or not, and we'll get some out there.
Yeah. If I don't bring any bricks home, that would be fine with me.
There you go. So if anything, maybe we'll just have a box there. Please take one. Even if it's not you, just take one.
Yeah. Hopefully, people know other people that couldn't make it and will ship them
and grab it. Oh yeah, or people that travel there and hey, I'm 10 minutes away from so and so. So there you guys go. Like he said, if you guys know somebody or you have your own name in there, you're welcome to take it. And hopefully he doesn't have to drag them back home. Right. Yeah. So, and then I just working on stuff. I made a lighted Murph sign. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, here, let me move my camera over here. It's right in the corner. Oh, is that with their logo? Lights. Yeah. Okay, yeah, because they're having a contest, right? You're going to enter that contest then? Probably. I got 2 of those. They're just little. They're not Shirtle quality light boxes. But it takes some time to get to that Shirtle quality. Yeah, these will have magnetic backs only because I didn't fit them properly. So. You know what? Sometimes you got to adjust on the fly and make it work. So if it works, it works. Like I said about these bricks, they're not perfect because I try everything I want. So if a brick is not quite as nice as I like, I'll reprint it. I reprinted a pattern to print today. I reprinted that one. Oh yeah, because he's gonna be there too. Yep.
Yeah, because this is the first one I made for him, and I didn't like it, so I made him this one.
Made it pop a little bit more. Yep.
Yeah, so there you go.
Oh, yeah, it looks
So
good.
if I don't like them, I don't throw them away. You just get two of them, one better than the other.
Like I said, yeah, at least, give somebody else the chance to take them and display them, or if they don't, then they can dispose of it.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I hate throwing them away, but maybe at the end of the day, what do you do with a bunch of bricks with other people's names on it?
This is true. Now with your printing and everything, so how long have you been 3D printing?
3 years.
3 years?
Yeah,
Have you
yeah.
built up? Of course, I know you said you had the your first printer, then you had the Prusa. Are you like a lot of people where you just keep them and just keep building onto your fleet, or do you get rid of, replace, and?
Yeah, that's how I started. I had the Wine Hoe, and then I got a FL Sun QQS Pro,
Okay.
and then I found it. Then I found a guy who had a bunch of them, so I bought 6 of those off him. So I had 7 or 8 of those,
Nice.
and then I've had a couple Prusa Minis, and I got a pretty heavily modified CR10. That was my second printer that I still have that. That's all TH3D'd out with auto bed leveling and his unified
Everything you
firmware.
can do to it.
Pretty much. I don't care for Octoprint. It's too much computer hassle for me to mess with. It's more work than just filling out an SD card, putting it in there and hitting print. So
Yeah, you got to
So I
work on
don't have
setup
all
and
that
everything
stuff.
else. Now, how many
Yeah,
printers do you
no.
have currently in your setup?
5.
Go ahead.
5. Yeah, I got a Prusa Mini. I got the A1 Mini. I've got an SVO6. I've got a 300 by 300 Tronxy, and then I got a 300 by 300 CR10.
Okay, yeah. So
So-
you got the large format and then your smaller ones, and
Yeah,
of course the A1 quick one. So do you have a favorite?
yeah. My Prusa Mini.
Prusa
That
Mini?
thing's a work with the Revo.
Okay, yep.
Thing's a workhorse. That thing's never given me any issues. The A1 Mini's good too. I just don't have as much time on it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. How long have
You
you had
know,
the
and-
Prusa Mini?
Got to be almost 3 years.
Okay, so it's pretty much it's been your workhorse
Yeah.
almost the whole time.
Yeah, I had 2 of them, and then I had a good friend that wanted one, so I sold him one of them. And then I bought the SVO6. So
Awesome. Do you like that one? Some people have mixed feelings about it. I've got an SVO7.
Yeah.
It's great, but
yeah, it prints fine. It doesn't give me any troubles. I'm not a tinkering kind of guy. I'd rather not.
just want it to work.
Yeah, I'll probably never get a printer with clipper on it just because I don't want to deal with it. So
Yeah, I haven't done. I got the SVO7 Plus is the only clipper machine I have, so I'm with you there. And I haven't toyed much with it. I've been sticking with the bamboos because they've done well.
yeah. I've been thinking about an enclosed Core XY, but if I would probably get the SVO8
Yep.
before a bamboo, just because if I bought a bamboo Core XY, it would be a single color because I don't like their AMSs. If they had a way you could put the AMS light on it, where it's center hung, the spools are center.
Oh
That
yeah,
makes more sense
rather
to
than
me.
having to make sure the spool fits and everything else, or have
Yeah.
to print a whole entire mod to fit some but not all. So
Well, I use shoe racks to hold my filament. Those shoe racks with the rods going through them.
yeah, and it just sits
And-
inside of the 2 rods. Yeah.
Yeah, but they could be just a little bit taller. So when you get a full rack, you put it in there and you start bending corners of cardboard, and yeah, AMS would never work for me. But the lights are great.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's the way to go. And then still waste, but there's a little less waste, but then also a lot of speed increase, especially if you're doing a lot of color changes, just with that pullback.
Yeah. I run the bamboo stock profiles at 50%. I don't even run 100%.
Well, then at least you guarantee your quality. You don't have to worry about ever going
Well-
back through and that was failed because I pushed it too hard.
Right. Well, I don't care if the print takes 2 hours or 4 hours. I'm streaming it to MakerDeck, so I kind of prefer the 4 hours for MakerDeck.
That makes sense. Yeah, that way then it's just rather than just a quick done, and by the time you get it set up, you're already halfway finished. It's like, oh, that was kind of pointless.
Yeah, I've got 3 more bricks designed.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
But, so I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna go to the community. So YouTube and Twitch. If anybody's got any questions for Local Maker, go ahead and throw them up in chat, and I will try to catch them. But get your questions in, and we'll see. If you guys want to learn anything else about them, or have a question about the bricks themselves, or anything else. Grumpy dude was upset because you run the bamboo slow. He did a crying emoji.
I don't need feet. I don't need fast. You know.
Oh, 3D
And it's
HP. He's over in YouTube land, and there's not a whole lot. So he's chatting, and he's like, "Oh, it looks like I'm spamming." Now you're good. Maker Brick Stalker. Is that what you're naming him? And he just sold his Prusa Mini, and SVO8's coming soon. So yeah, I'll break up your spam there. But anybody out there? Anybody have any questions in the community for local maker? Let me see here. What was the first maker brick you made other than your own? It's asked by Pink 3D.
K2 Kevin.
Never heard of that guy. I heard he's a pretty nice guy, but you know.
It says K2 who right on it.
K2 who? Yeah. Now was that your first? Well, I guess your first design was obviously the multiple ones you made it yourself as you're getting used to it.
Yeah.
Was he the first design or just the first print? Or both, I guess.
Well, it would be both, because if it wasn't a local if it didn't have local maker on it or maker brick, then K2 Kevin was the first one to have it was much more intricate. It was more finding, figuring out how to put the K2 clip in there on top of it in Tinkercad, and figured out the SVGs, going on the computer, going into Google, looking up fonts, picking fonts, converting them to SVGs, and then so
yeah, whole step. Yeah, especially that's one thing with Tinkercad I noticed before is just adding fonts. I wish you could just upload a font, use it, type it in there, but but at least you got down the trick of doing the SVG, swapping it over. So let's see. K2 Kevin asks who dat. No, we don't know. It'd probably take too long to explain who that is anyway. Grumpy Dude says, do you have like a grid to attach them to, or ... I don't know if you didn't finish it, but I'd say, I guess he's probably asking to stack them. Are they just stacked, or do you have any type of grid or any system to connect them?
No, no connections. I thought about it, but then it just started getting in my own way about it. So the only thing I did do was I changed them to, if you notice, the back of them have the slots.
Yeah.
The corners and this long piece is sacrificial. It's just there to stick to the bed. So you run an X-Acto knife down it, and then you can run a LED light strip in from.
Oh, okay.
From here all the way around, and then you can run the LED light strip in it. So
nice. Now, was that something that you just recently integrated, or has that been something kind of in the design for most of the time?
Quite a while. Quite a while now. If they have the inside rounded corners. If they have the inside rounded corners, they're the new style with the open back.
With the channels in them.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, is there any other iterations you're looking to do with them to update, or is kind of just more feel it out as you go? And if you think of some idea, throw it in there?
I like textures, so I may try to blasphemy, but I may try to get into a program that I can add texture to it, like brick or leather or wood, something organic.
All right.
But I probably won't. So
time will tell, right?
I'll just figure out a different way to do it. So
there you go. And let's see, and none other than Shirtle 3D, when we mentioned him, so he arrives, he's asking, are they all the same size?
Yes. Yeah.
Got that default size. So that makes better for stacking and just so you don't have to change much. You just kind of change that faceplate or the center plate.
Right. Yep. Just the center plate, and so.
And then Karen Chow Design is asking, how many fit into a Polymaker box?
I'm not sure, but we can find out at Murph.
There you go. So we'll have some extra boxes, I'm sure, at our booth. So we'll stack them up, and we got to send a whole box home with somebody. Then maybe they can take over for sending them out to other people.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I put a lot of time into them. I enjoy them, but I want other people to enjoy them too. So
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Yeah. Especially like you said, you do them just kind of as fun to, show your appreciation. And it's nice
Right.
if you can give it to somebody and see the appreciation on their face rather than just,
yeah,
like me going on the computer. Hey, awesome. Thanks. That's so cool. It means a lot more when you can be like,
Yeah.
here you go. Awesome. But no, I think it's a really cool thing you're doing. But, let's see here. Silverback asks, can I cancel my hotel for Murph and just stay in Local Maker's motorhome?
if there's a camp spot, it'll be crowded.
There you go. Maybe some fire and some s'mores.
Yeah.
Now, did you get a
Yes.
chance last year to try in the jambalaya?
I did, and I missed out.
I did too. I heard great things, but suppose it's going to be back this year, so we
Well,
shall see.
My sister's planning on making a bunch of sandwiches and bringing them, like ham and cheese and turkey and cheese sandwiches on buns.
There you
Just to
go.
pass out because she's like that. So
That's very nice. But I think that's it for, let's see, local. Yes, Zombie. It is I Nicor and also Local Maker. Welcome in, Zombie. But we're gonna go to just a few rapid fire questions. Just
Sure.
either one word or one sentence answer. First off is always the easy one, or easy question for me at least. Favorite filament type and color.
type like PLA.
I like PLA, PETG, ABS.
Yeah. PLA, and I'm having a love affair with Winkle silk
There you go.
or Peridot silk. So, yeah.
Yep. No, it's a good color, so I can't blame you there. Next up, if you could do a brick of any size, no matter on a restriction of printer, how big do you think you'd make a brick? Would you go as big as you can, or a 5x5 foot one, or?
I think proportionally, I think it would look good in the 4 to 6 foot range by 2 foot. I think I think it would work as a sign if you could
Oh yeah,
do
for
it.
sure. Yep. Yeah.
You
Then I
know?
guess all you do is just put a post up and put it on top, and
Yeah,
there you
you
go.
Yeah, you could run the lights on the inside. It could be lit up. Yeah.
Now, if you could, of course, you make bricks for all the makers and everything else out there, and not to take away from any of the ones you created. If you could create and be able to hand one to anybody, whether in the community, outside the community, doesn't even have to be in the 3D printing community, say the president or whoever, who would you like most in the world to make a brick for, to be able to personally hand to and say, hey, here you go, I made this for you. It doesn't have to be famous either. It can be anybody.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I'm really looking forward to is handing Liz her bricks.
There you go. Because you probably got to meet her for the first time last year?
Last year, yep.
Okay. Yep. So,
Yeah, I made her the clock.
okay.
And
Yeah,
so
that's right. Yeah, because it was at our booth.
So the brick started after the clock.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure she's going to appreciate it. And then, we'll just, whenever we see her not near her luggage or, purse or whatnot, I'll help you sneak some in there and just slowly load her down. When she picks that thing up, she's going to wonder why it's 100 pounds.
Slip the brick in the back.
There you go. So anybody that wants to join in, making sure the bricks get to Liz in any form, nicely,
Yes.
no aggressive brick throwing or anything. Only brick throwing
Right.
at K2 Kevin, right?
K2. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if we lost him. Am I frozen, or I think he froze up? Let's see. Did we lose him? Bear with us just a moment. I think you guys still hear me? Okay, he's lagging. Yep. So we'll wait for a second for him to come back here. But thank you, Zombie. I know you pointed out that you came and you've been here since the blackout. Appreciate it. Getting things worked out. This one, I don't know what it was. A lot of things weren't wanting to work, and then I started it late, thinking I can get things fixed, and I did get some, but then I forgot to switch a setting over for studio mode. So here I am. But let me see here. Let's see if he joins back in here. Give it a minute or two. But I think it might have crashed on him. So, is anybody here going to Murph? I know I've seen a couple names in there that I know are going. Anybody else in here? Pez Liz, Zombie, you're going. Silverback, I hope he doesn't make it. Silverback will be actually helping out at the Polymaker booth this year. So it's always much appreciated when we get community's help. I started as community help last year at Murph myself. So it's always a fun time. There's going to be a lot of cool things going on. So just trying to buy us some time. We might not make it back here. I'm just watching the connection over here, but we'll see. Other than that, real quick too, anybody that's in here, I am awesome in chat. If you haven't already done so, get that in here. We'll try to speed up the end part here just because I did kind of go over from multiple issues. Next week we'll be good. There he is. He's back. Let me see if I can push him back into it. If he's not here, give him a chance to plug himself.
So what
in.
happened?
There we go. Okay, he is back. So, well, we've kind of touched base on everything. I definitely appreciate you coming on here. Enjoy having you. I can't wait to. I think I met you, but everything was so busy last year.
Yeah.
But definitely meeting you. Maybe get an official handshake, hug, whatever you go for. I'll definitely. I'll sift through the 1,000 of bricks to try to find my own, or I'll just make my kids do it. So.
I think you have a couple. So.
Awesome. Well, it's always appreciated. So before we let you go, is there any projects you want to share? Any websites people can find you at? Anything you want to share where they can follow you?
It's Local Maker M on Twitter, and all of the Maker Bricks, almost all the Maker Bricks are on the Instagram Local Maker M.
Okay. And then you're often, if you guys want to see what the next one is, do you announce it first on your socials or do you start printing it on MakerDeck first?
It's always on MakerDeck first. Usually anywhere between 11 and 2 during the day, I start a Maker Brick. So,
and I'm sure most of you guys know, those that don't, twitch.tv/MakerDeck. A lot of people stream their prints, their creations. And as he said, this is that's where you find out what the next one is. If you're part of the community, there's a chance it could be you. I wasn't even aware that mine was being printed. So I watch my MakerDeck quite often. I just didn't happen to catch that one. So you can always be surprised, but awesome guy. Definitely make sure to tell him hello, high five, handshake, whatever he goes for at Murph. But thank you again very much for being patient, getting everything set up there and staying with me. So with that said, we'll let you go.
It.
Oh, more than welcome anytime. We'll catch you next time.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Thank you. Okay, so we're at the end of the show. So this is going to be your last chance to put in, I am awesome. I see some entries that are going to come back in. I am awesome in chat. If you did it earlier, do it again. You can't do it too many times. You can only do one entry, but if you think you might not be in there, put it in there. I'm okay with you spamming it right now. I think it'll only let you do so many times anyway. So get that in there. But that was our maker. I apologize for the technical difficulties there in the beginning and in the middle. Working through things, but always appreciate you guys staying. You guys are always the most supportive community. It's amazing what you guys do and what you bring to the table. Just like Local Maker, just out of nowhere, creating things for the community with no one asking them to. And that's what's awesome about this community is you give and don't expect in return. And a lot of times that it comes full circle. That whether you believe in karma or not, doing good things leads to good things for yourself. So appreciate what he does and what a lot of you guys do. So keep on doing that. But that is it for the show. Make sure to follow us if you are not already following us. If you enjoy the show, it's eventually going to be a lot more organized. So we're working through some things, but we are here every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in twitch.tv/Polymaker_3D, or if you're in the YouTube world, over at youtube.com/@Polymaker. Other than that, we also have our Polymaker socials across the board: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. So that if you're not following us on those, definitely follow us. There's a lot of cool projects, a lot of things that get shared through those. We also have our Polymaker figurines that is ran by Antoine Dimensions, and he is printing Pokemon. He is printing a lot of Pokemon, 151 to be exact. There's every evolution for the first 151. They're all being printed in multicolor. He releases a new video every 2 days, usually every 2 days. Sometimes he kind of remixes some things in between. But once he does show it on the socials at Polymaker Figurines, then they become available on Maker World. That model is free to download. So you can print it in solid color, or you can print it in the multicolor, which is available on the downloads. So that is an awesome thing to follow. We also have somebody that is pumping out videos like crazy. Creatrix Brit is leading our Polymaker education program. It is something new if you haven't caught it yet. Whether you have kids or even if you don't have kids, if you have any type of interaction or you have cousins and nephews, nieces. She's doing a lot of cool things that are 3D printed, of course, centered to help learn different functions, learn different things, safety. How did I think that one was your motor functions of like gripping things, and had like a shoelace type setup. A lot of easy prints. Those models become available to download. She tells you where to get those. I don't know what her schedule is, but she's pumping out those videos quite often. I think at one point there was a couple, one per day or one every other day. So those are Polymaker_education, again, across all the socials. Make sure to go follow those. It is a very cool project. I know Britt's got a lot of passion for it. She's got kids of her own. So it's just an awesome way to share our love of 3D printing for those, whether fortunate, less fortunate, or just helpful, to help kids along. Other than that, we also have none other than Pezliz, who is in here. She is running our Polymaker show in printing color. That is every Wednesday. The schedule's been a little bit off. I think the last couple weeks she's been traveling, but she's still been coming up there and going live. So I give her props there. So she's always showcasing either new color filament or different types of filament, just talking different things. There is going to be some cool new filament coming out. I'm sure she will be one of the first to showcase it. So if you are not following her, do that now. That is twitch.tv/Pezliz. She also does show every Monday. Z and Z show is Zombie the Hedgehog. So she does a lot of cool things. She too will be at Murph. So if you've never met her, awesome lady. Definitely come say hi to her. She might be carrying around bags of Uncrustables if somebody supplies them. So I better come through this time because I didn't last time. But with that said, we're going to go ahead and do our drawing. So 10 more seconds to type in "I am awesome" into chat for your chance to win a spool of filament. Then we got, okay, yeah, we got a good amount of entries here. So let's go ahead and move to the giveaway. And we are going to draw in 5 and 4 and 3 and 2. And I think 1's after that. And then 0. Here we go. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be somebody in the YouTube land or somebody in the Twitch land? Waiting. It's slowing down. It's slowing down. Who we got? Hey, that's a new one I've seen. So Frostbite 3D Urban Monkey. And that is on Twitch. Are you in here, Frostbite? Hope you're still... Yes, you are here. Awesome. So, Frostbite, are you part of our Discord channel? And it is discord.polymaker.com if you guys have not went there yet. And also, while we wait just a second, I want to buy some time to see who do we have that is live that we can raid. How about Shenanigans? I don't think we've raided him yet since we've done the show. So, everybody, just hang tight. We're going to raid into... I hope I do it right here. Let's make sure... I'm hoping we do this right. Raid. Start the raid. Raid has been created. Okay, so awesome. So we are going to... oh, actually, Frostbite. Let's address this first. You want a spool of filament. So be sure to reach out to Polymaker Sean on our Discord, or myself, Nicor, always at the top of the list on the admin section. So just look at the user list, click and message, or I still keep forgetting. It's sean.armada@polymaker.com, I believe. Just okay, cool, can do, awesome. Reach out to either one of us. Let them know that you were on Meet the Polymaker on 6/6/2024, and you are the spool winner. We will verify it against the video, so those that are watching, don't try to submit that you won. You're not going to get it. So this is just for Frostbite 3D Urban Monkey. But that is it for the show. Thanks again. I can't ever say that enough. You guys are all awesome. Make sure to give our love over to Shenanigans. He's always doing crazy stuff. That guy is very technical. Turbos, I think he melted an engine at one point, but just watch him, give him a little bit, and you'll see some cool things that he makes. So you guys have a great week, a great night, and I hope to see you here next week. Thank you.
Thank you.